Right then, welcome back. It's time to return to your regularly scheduled programming. Team Envy and Endpoint is our last contest of the evening, and I'm pretty certain we've saved the best until last. Now, before we get to that, let's have a quick recap of what's taken place over the course of the day. Fortunately, I've got some lovely colleagues here with me at the arena who can help me break it down. For example, my first lovely colleague, a return to the Elite Series, is Gfinity. Sir, let's recap. Match one. Can you remember that far back? Method were taking on Envyus. And what stood out for you in that match?
Remembering that far back,
exactly.
This is tough. I think we were expecting it to be a feisty fight. UK derby going on. What stood out for me, I think Cobblestone's always a tough. I can't see that far.
Oh, you can. We're watching the footage now. Epic scenes, but it was toe-to-toe, wasn't it? And it was a best of British, really.
It was, and like I said, you asked me at the start of today which was a match I was looking forward to, and I told you it was that match, and it definitely didn't disappoint. I think Crucial and his AWP play at times was just unbelievable, phenomenal, and you know, just seeing some of the frags that he pulled off on its own was definitely worth the money that people paid to come and watch, and people at home were very, very lucky to see Counter-Strike at that level as well. Yeah,
indeed, and Method looking very, very excited about the fact that they got another win after beating Envy. But I tell you what, though, they seemed happy. Nilzinho came down, surreal on the desk, and I tell you what, there's some absolute slobber knockers on the way, that game too. But I'll leave you for a second, Gfinity. Lottie, where are you in this building, my lovely co-host?
Thank you, Tom. Well, lovely, Tom. I'm actually in the green room now with NATO. NATO, we're going to update them on match number 2. Yeah. So, what a game that was. Epsilon versus Reason, double overtime. Incredible. I think this end score was 22-18. Yeah. Talk me through that game.
Oh, well, it was actually, obviously, Reason playing with a stand-in, Csgo, and he ended up having the most important round of them all, pretty much. He had a round where he was pretty much solo on the B-bomb side and got 3 kills and headshotted a 4th or something like that, when it was 15-13 in favor of Epsilon. So that kind of mounted the comeback for Reason. They ended up going into the overtime, taking the first 3 CT rounds, I think. Got it to 18-15, but then ended up throwing away the next 3, went to double overtime, and then they just took the next 4. So a really back and forth game at the beginning, and then when they needed him the most, the stand-in, who didn't even speak Reason's native language, came through.
Well, it was an incredible game, and with such an incredible game comes incredible players. Now, who was your standout MVP for that game?
Definitely Tsgs. 16-year-old guy, gets 40 kills. I mean, I don't know, like, he just had such an incredible match. And yeah, he was pretty hyped about it as well. On LAN as well, such a young guy. It kind of, you know, sets a good precedent for his future career. And I think he's going to be one of Denmark's coming stars.
Amazing. Well, I just want to quickly point out that, Boaster, you're going to get a run for your money here, because NATO has the coolest socks that I've seen so far. It's his actual face on his socks as well. Yeah. So how did you do that?
Well, a company actually contacted me if I wanted to make socks, and then I was at a LAN with a buddy, and he took a picture of me with Snapchat filter, and then I don't know why, but it ended up being the picture we took, and then put deal with it glasses on, and then yeah, this very lovely greenish color. Well,
I absolutely love it. Tom, you need to get on this as well. I need some Tom Deacon socks. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Lottie. Yes, I do need some Tom Deacon socks, but we're not all as lucky as NATO to get picked up with a Snapchat filter and then to get some freebies. But I tell you what, lovely to have NATO here. Lovely Lottie, lovely Herald, lovely SEO. Let's talk about match 3. The one that no one predicted except NATO himself, the sock man, I'll call him from now on. Prophecy getting that win against XL.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shocker, really. Like, obviously, NATO's the only one who predicted it. We also go XL's way, and XL didn't even get the bonus point, in fact. It was completely surprising. Yeah,
what happened? Did they fold? What happened there?
One can only assume they were sad. You know, at the end of that game. Horrific, really. I mean, it looked like they may have gained some momentum towards the end, but they just couldn't string it together. You know, and round after round, clutches looked like maybe they had a chance, but no, they did not have a chance. And in the end, it doesn't really matter. XL go home pointless. And finally, We see a smile on the Bulgarian boy's face.
It wasn't necessarily a smile, it was one of like relief more than anything, and it was one of punching the air. Rocky was loving it, quite loud in this arena. But gentlemen, obviously 3 matches, 1 on the way, moments away in fact. But what is that going to do to the table in terms of the standings at the moment and the results and where we're at in this week 4? If
Excel were kind of higher up the table, it wouldn't affect it too much. But it kind of throws a bit of a spanner in the works, really, because Excel have dropped 3 points to a team that 3 teams so far have managed to not drop a single point to. So Excel's playoff hopes are getting hindered in this process. Yeah, and could we possibly see, mathematically, Harold, a chance of prophecy coming through? Now, it's difficult to get into that top 4. There's 8 teams, you need to finish in the top 4 to make it to the playoffs. Is there an outside chance they could do it, continue to win? As far as I'm aware, obviously, prophecy could be there. But it means a lot needs to go in their favour, and they have to win every single game from here on out. So it's not going to be easy, and other teams would have to do badly. But they've given themselves, a step in the right direction. If they can continue it, well, that would be amazing. But it's going to be very, very difficult, and a lot has to go their way. OK, and obviously, at the end of the night, we'll show you how the standings are looking. But at the moment, we are gearing ourselves up for Endpoint taking on Envy. Envy, 2 losses on the bounce. This is their lineup tonight. A few changes. What is going on here? They've added a few blonde players. Outrageous. Yeah, it's one heck of a change from the lineup that they used last week. We've actually got one of the main players from Envyus, so not an academy player, XMS stepping in. Neo Sky, we've seen him a few times. He's been coaching them, so technically the manager. OK. And then Anton and JBA are both players. So Anton's the sub, and then JBA was a draftee. OK, so, from the Challenger series. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a fantastic opportunity for him. But talk to me more about Christmas. Talk to me about Christmas right now. Well, it's tickled you. That's tickled you. Harold, what do we know about Christmas? XMS, one of the main team players, very, very skilled. Obviously, it's a step up from the academy team. He's not quoted to be the strongest player in the main team, but when you step down into this level, he should be able to have a bit of fun with it today. And I definitely think it's an opportunity for him to just relax a little bit, play with the team, have a bit of fun, and see what he can do. Whether they're expecting a huge amount from this game, I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see what they can pull out. Yeah, I mean, we've seen at times brilliance from Envy, and other times just disarray. So this, obviously, massive substitutions, changes left, right, and centre. You've still got Vikil from, a player from last week. And in terms of his decision-making mid-matches, what's he like? And how's he going to be able to tell the other boys, right, this is how we normally play when we're playing well? I feel like he's been one of the pillars that they've been kind of relying on this season. Like, we've had Haji and Jax not performing. It's pretty much been Lambert, Patiska, and him performing. So I assume he's going to be taking like the role of the overall leader in this lineup and trying to push them forward and kind of believe in themselves. Yeah. But I'm not sure what they can expect from this. Yeah. Now, Harold, I believe that you picked out something from last week. Can you talk us through this little bit of footage? I absolutely can. So it was a very, very exciting round that we've got here. Now, I remember watching it. I was sitting in the crowd. I was having a ball of a time. I was having an absolute whale. And Vikil, we'll get forward to it, don't worry. So, Vikil becomes the last man alive when Haji dies, which he hasn't done yet. Now, as soon as Haji dies there, they get the call, rotate over. And so you're going to see Vikil here. He sees the floating player. There's a little floating man, all right, and he's seen that. Now, he knows if he doesn't execute the floating man, he may give himself an extra opportunity. So what does he do? We play on, and he waits. He follows the floating man. The floating man goes through the door. He follows him. He doesn't just kill him straight away. He looks, he kills, he strikes, he finds the second kill. Now, the first mistake there was not watching your back, OK? That's the first mistake that they make. Now, Vikil's going to move forward. He's going to try and recover himself the bomb. He's going to get forward, does a little bit of spamming. He finds out he can get the bomb, and he gets straight out of there. The second problem now is we don't have that instant reaction from Csgo. He hangs about, right? You're going to see, when we play on, we're going to see he sticks around on that bomb site. He doesn't move straight away. All right, he's still hanging around, Finally, he gets moving, goes towards drop. He could have gone for the full flank. He has time. He could have gone for the full flank. Instead, he's going to go straight through drop. He's going to try and get forward straight away, and he's going to try and go through the smoke that's just been put down. And so our final pause here, we're going to see what he's done is he's come straight through the smoke. And I remember hearing, I believe it was Neil M saying in the background, why is he going through? Oh, that was a terrible accident. But he goes, why is he gone through the smoke? Why is he gone through the door instead of going through the hatching, instead of going up it, instead of finding a different angle? Because he, you know, when there's a smoke down, you assume the first thing VKill does is check the smoke, make sure no one's gone through it. That's his easiest angle to check of all of them. All right, he could look towards upper, he could look towards hatch. The easiest one he's got is the door that he smoked. So if we play on straight away, that is the kill coming from VKill and the round. A 1 versus 3 clutch and a massive, massive round to win.
Okay, so if they play like that and they get their head in the game, there's a chance that they could get back to winning ways.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's just VKill on his
But
own
of course,
there.
well, VKill's about to play though, isn't
Yeah.
he, Harold? And they're taking on Endpoint, who we know, after last week, they will feel bitterly disappointed. They did not clutch, you know, see the game out and get that win. Will that be sort of lingering in their minds for a little while, or will they sort of move on with that?
I wouldn't say they'd be lingering too much. Obviously, it's a league format. They know they should move on after a result. You can't go back and change it, so you just move on, accept it. However, there is a big difference. We've got a new man in.
A little different.
New man in. Yeah. There is a new man. Yeah. There he is. Thank you, Harold, for bopping down there. Just in between two men with lovely glasses. Look like, yeah, good frames, those ones. Jakey, former coach, now stepping in. What is it this season, the Elite Series Season 2, where coaches decide, you know what, I'm fed up of shouting at you, not doing it right. I'm going to step in there and show you how it's done.
Well, unlike some of what we've seen so far, Jakey used to play in the UK scene. He's got a lot of experience. It's going to be interesting to see him step back in. He has played with these players before. He knows them all very well. Obviously, as the coach, they all live together in the team house. So I think Jakey stepping in should be a very good fit. Obviously, he's not the permanent fix, but going forward, this gives him a great insight into how the team plays, being able to actually play with them, see how they interact with this team. That should be really handy for him as a coach in the future. So I think seeing Jakey here is a very good sign.
Yeah, now, obviously, with the pictures that we have here, what they do is they line them up so they all look equally of the same height. But we know Stan, not the greatest of stature, but he can deliver. And last week didn't necessarily deliver. Hopefully he comes back into a bit of form.
Yeah, they had a few struggles on the bigger bomb site on Inferno last week. But overall, Stan's performance through the season have been phenomenal, really. I'd always pick out Fasher, but he's been a standout player, really.
And I'd love to see the stats of Stanley, but you've got Fasher as well. No Yannick, don't know where he's gone, but we'll soon find out, I'm sure, when the stories drop on that. But with a new player coming in, we've seen it tonight, it can work for some teams and can't for others. Do you think that Jakey, being a coach, knows the play, knows how to fit in, he knows how to use the utilities, the smokes, everything that they will use?
Well, obviously, since he's been coaching the lineup, he knows the ins and outs of all the strategies, the defaults, all that stuff. However, the sub effect is usually against a set-up team. They'd be expecting that same 5, and then having a different player kind of throws a spanner in the works. They're against an Envy lineup, which isn't, you know, I wouldn't say, I'd hope they haven't practiced, because that'd be a bit odd, like, to have that lineup get all 5 together. So it's essentially just a mix, really, in that broad sense if you compare the sub situation.
Yeah, now I know that those vetoes will start coming in and we'll get the map, but what will Endpoint want to do this week round?
I think they'd be hoping for the win, like minimum, like that. You know, they need it really. Like this Envy lineup, which is completely weak compared to the regular one. They need to take advantage of that and get all 3 points.
But in terms of the map, that obviously they want that win. But in terms of map SEO, what would they kind of be looking for?
I feel like they're going for more of an Inferno. It's a strong map for Envy. I don't think they'll go towards Cobble. But I'm wondering if they'll actually go with the same sort of veto system that Envy have usually been going for. Like they've traditionally focused on a certain few maps, and that's with their set team. So ideally, that was what they'd go for, but they don't have that team. So,
personally, I think it's going to favour more towards the customs in this one, because you know, this is such a mixed team. It's such a mix. There is no synergy whatsoever in this team. Maybe Neo Sky and VKill have synergy.
Potentially.
There's no synergy. They need to be aiming for a cobblestone, an overpass, something where they really can play the game. Maybe not cobblestone. Actually, definitely not cobblestone. The beauty of the Elite Series and the Gfinity Arena, when you mention something like, you know what, I'd quite like to see some stats from Stanley. Well, guess what happens? We can, indeed. These are the stats for Stanley at the moment. The roll, the rifler, like SEO said, and I did myself, he wants to come back into form. But what does he offer the team, Stanley? What does he offer this team? Stats? You promised me stats, Tom.
I'm offering you
his name.
Lovely text at the moment.
That's not even his in-game name.
There you go.
His in-game name is Stanley.
It's because you pointed it. This is Season 2 average. Some of the ADR and the stats there. Elite rating, look at that, 13.74. We know he can offer a lot. But what does he... what does he offer this Endpoint team? And how can someone like Jakey come back into the team and allow Stanley to just push forward a little bit?
So Jake obviously becoming a bit more of a support player in this situation. So he'll be looking to get stand kills, flashing him into areas to get information, like that sort of stuff, rather than make some hero plays himself. Like Stan in the past few weeks, what was it, 25 kills on average per game, which is phenomenal. The average was 18. That's well above, well above.
I'm watching some of his play here.
I'm a bit dizzy.
What, just because you're so close to the action? You're never normally this close to the action.
Maybe that's I feel like I'm being shot.
But there you go. That's what Endpoint can deliver with Stanley. But, if I was to push the predictions on you now, gentlemen, we know we've seen the players, they're getting ready, there's some setups still going on, so we will get the match underway as quickly as we possibly can. But on predictions at the moment, I may as well ask you.
Endpoint, comfortable win.
A what?
A very comfortable win for Endpoint.
Endpoint, comfortable win.
Okay, well, fair enough. We know how your predictions have gone wrong today. Listen, Lottie is currently with Boast. We didn't get to chat to him after his loss today, but how's he feeling right now, Lottie?
Well, I'm with a less energetic Boast than usual, but we won't talk about your game. We're going to put that to the side and we'll focus on next week. But we have a cool game coming up, so it's Endpoint versus Envy. Now, we don't know too much about the Envy roster, but we've got a few stand-ins as well for Endpoint. So what do you think about the two teams and this matchup?
Honestly, it could go either way. Considering Envyus Academy aren't playing with their full roster, I'm going to have to go with Endpoint. Hopefully Stanley steps up like he normally does. And actually, Emmy's been playing all right, so if he steps up as well. Actually, if the whole team, they're playing with a stand-in as well, Jakey. He's not actually that bad, so even though he's a coach, he has played CS. He's dabbled. I think Endpoint. Honestly, weirdly.
Okay, well, looking at the two teams, is there anything in those teams, key things you think those teams need to do to win, like personally for each one?
Well, since Envyus will be playing in a kind of mix, they're not playing as a team, they'll be playing individually. I think Endpoint, as long as they play refrags, so if they lose a frag, like what we should have done, if they lose a frag, then the next person will get the kill. It should go quite even in trades, and then hopefully Endpoint will take it. But it's just depending on that, really. Maybe one individual player, like XMS from Envy, he could go off on one and absolutely annihilate them.
Pop off. Pop off. Awesome. So if you had to have a prediction of score, you're saying Endpoint, what would the score be?
Let's go 16... could go either way. It could be an absolute smashing or an absolute non-smashing. 16-12. I'm fried.
There we go. 16-12 from a fried Boast. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you very much, Lottie. You know what? I feel like Boaster isn't quite himself at the moment after that loss today. I'm feeling a bit disappointed, but it's either going to be a smashing or a non-smashing. There you go. Those are the predictions. The vetoes, the picks will start coming in moments away from that. Listen, we've heard from a man who's just performed up on that stage. Anything can happen, can be bitterly disappointed. Do you reckon Endpoint are going to be bitterly disappointed, knowing that you've both backed them now?
I'd hope not. I'd like to be right with some predictions today, ideally.
And Harold, when they start coming in, these picks, Imi and VKill are down there.
I mean, at this point, who knows, mate? Who knows? Could be anyone. Prophecy might win. At this point, whether I even bother predicting, I might take it back because my predictions today have been substandard, to say the least. But I suppose you've got to do it, haven't you? Got to be wrong to be right. If you don't make a mistake, you don't learn.
Yeah, indeed. Team Envy making the first veto Inferno. Surprising?
Kind of surprising considering Envy played Inferno quite a bit, but then again, it's just a case of...
Not really Envy, is it? Doesn't really count as Envy.
But it just seems like obviously they're just favouring away from maps that have, I'd say, quite a lot of communication is the way I'd probably favour it. Nuke's still left.
Still a chance for Nuke?
No way do you play Nuke.
Oh, come on.
Nuke's one of those maps that it's easily heavily one-sided if things go that way. So Overpass being played. Endpoint played it quite a bit online, but we haven't seen obviously from them in the Elite Series since Season 1. So surprising in a way, but I think they're just kind of trying to take the overwhelming factor. It's a mixed team. We can overcomplicate it for them, force them to do things that they're not comfortable with.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I'm looking forward to Christmas and what he can offer in that Envy lineup. Listen, it is overpass. I'm hoping for a slobber knocker. I'm sure you are as well, wherever you are. These boys reckon Endpoint. I turn over my attention to NATO and to Kyanite. Gentlemen, how do you see this one? And my main man, Niels, are you going to get this prediction right as well?
No.
OK, but no, tell me. I need to know what your gut is saying right now.
My gut is saying... Team Envyus Academy, uncomfortable win.
Ooh, I like it. What about yourself, Kyanite?
Well, I feel like the obvious answer is Endpoint, but every time I predict I'm wrong, so I'm just going to say Envyus. Okay. He seems to be right all the time, so if he wants Envyus, I'll say Envyus.
And you're looking forward to another map of Overpass today?
I think the first Overpass we saw, with it going to double overtimes, was one hell of a game. So if we get something similar, how can I not look forward to it?
OK, well, gentlemen, you know who's playing. This is vitally important for Envyus to kickstart everything again and Endpoint to get back to winning ways. So I'll leave it with you, gentlemen.
All right, thank you very much. So, NATO, finally, we both agree on who we think will win. Deep down, I still think Endpoint will win, but as far as my prediction's concerned...
Wait, what? I don't know. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this
that
works.
gut feeling you were telling me about, are you saying that gut of yours is seriously telling you that this Envyus mixed team is going to be Endpoint?
No, I said I was going to get the prediction wrong.
Right, okay.
And the reason I just said Envyus uncomfortable win was mostly because they said Endpoint comfortable win.
Right.
And also I want to know how is an what is an uncomfortable win? Is it like a win where you feel like this wasn't a fun game to win? I don't know, like. But in all seriousness, though, I think it's going to be honestly. This could go anywhere because we haven't seen the Envyus team play at all. But I'm gonna say Envyus, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be real close, like probably 16-13.
All right, there we go. There's NATO's prediction. I'd make a prediction, but like Sonny, my predictions have been lackluster today as well. So I think I'll just focus on doing my job and commentating some sexy Counter-Strike. But here we go. Second time we see Overpass today. And of course, if you've just tuned in, this is week 4 of the Gfinity Elite Series. It is the second season, of course, and it's game 4 of week 4, which means it is unfortunately our last game for the night. But if you've just tuned in, I can guarantee you some awesome CS will be coming up, especially when Stanley is the man looking to get the frags, but it is going to be VKLL to get the opener.
They are going to just be taking over the toilet control. Imi trying to tap away, not going to be landing the frag just yet. Neo Sky is going to be finding the frag onto Imi. There's the unarmored Blair drop, and I'm not sure if... Yeah, that's also the diffuse kit, so it's stuck in no man's land. And XMS does actually pick up the smoke. Going to be smoking off stairs, but I do think we're going to be seeing a rotation towards the B bomb site. The CTs have read this and have preemptively actually stacked the B bomb site. JBA, good kill. Really good kill, actually. Not a guy we've seen play in Gfinity Elite Series before, if I'm not mistaken. Mighty Max also gets taken down by VKL, and it's looking more and more like an Envyus round, and it is XMS. The, by far, probably, well, you can't say by far probably, but definitely one of the stars of this matchup. I would rate him as definitely the best player in this match, and honestly, I actually think XMS is just such a cool player. I'm a bit of an XMS fanboy. That's probably why I picked Envyus to win. But it's good to see them getting the first round on the board.
So left-hand side of the screen, 4 out of 5 CTs opting to go for armor and nades as well. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a decent choice. They did get a few kills, and it's pretty standard, I guess, to just go for pistol armor. Imi is the one who normally plays AWP, and he's only decided to go with the smoke, which is a pretty standard decision, to be honest. So he is going to try to build up bank so that he can get the AWP as early as possible, which would be in the 4th round, except if Endpoint, of course, win one of the rounds leading into it. So what Envyus will be looking to do here is getting Neosky to get some kills. The SMG and the double kill reward is what they're going to be looking to use and abuse here on the Envyus side. Right now, just scouting around on the map, and it does look like eventually they'll be heading to the B-bomb side.
B does look like it is going to be the destination for Team Envyus thus far. 45 seconds and counting on the clock, and with almost little to no Frenchies over towards the A-bomb site, it does look like this is where the round is going to end up. Fasher, ready and waiting, hiding behind the pipe as he knows that there are going to be terrorists on the other side, but the majority of the Envyus boys are going to be stampeding through short. Jakey and Stanley, a killer piece. Fasher gets one as well and makes it two as the CZ75s reign absolute supreme so far here on the B bomb site. 10 seconds and counting. XMS has to plant this bomb down. Endpoint will, oh no, he's decided to fake it, waiting for the CTs to push him down, and in the end, it's going to be an easy round for Endpoint. Jesus Christ.
Whoa, Fasher almost missing that spray, but eventually gets a kill. XMS dies after time, and that's really
awesome.
Crucial. Yeah, it's insane for Endpoint because they have thoroughly broken the bank of Team Envyus now, and a very scrappy round. Definitely not how you'd be.
Do you think it was the right decision to stop planting?
Yeah, I probably do. I mean, it's hard to just stick the plant. There's not a lot he could have really done, and even if he gets the plant, I mean, yeah, I guess you could make the case that he isn't going to win the round either way, but I do also understand if he gets the kill on Imi a bit earlier, then surely he's going to be able to make it out of there alive with his rifle. I just don't really like the decision of going through smokes versus pistols. They were kind of forced into such a situation, but they kind of forced themselves into it because they didn't take any map control on A, really. They just kind of faked the map control. So that's the only thing I'm a bit upset about. But anyway, Imi gonna be taking out JBA, and this time it's the polar opposite. This time it's the CTs with a huge advantage, not only in terms of numbers but also in terms of weaponry and armor.
Mighty Max looking to assert his dominance with a UMP-45 just outside of the toilets, but it's VKL. Wow, 2 kills from the flying Frenchman. And talking about flying Frenchmen, Stanley and Jakey's defense ensures that the Frenchmen definitely go flying over there towards the A-bomb site as they send them back to their spawns. 2-1 Endpoint.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking at an eco round for Envyus now. I'm actually a bit interested to know who is calling on the team. Usually it is the guy who buys the flesh. That's usually how I see it. So let's assume it's Neo Sky.
They take it in turns to call a tactic.
Maybe. I mean, there could be a revolutionary way of playing Counter-Strike that people just haven't really warmed up to yet. But a very fast rush coming on to the A-bomb site. They are going to be running into Mighty Max, charging through the smoke. Anton gets taken down. Now he needs to worry about his behind as he gets taken down. VKO takes him down as Imi looks to hang on to the A-bomb site, but also his rifle, and he does actually get taken down by JBA. Now XMS tapping away, takes 1 kill. Might even find one more as Jakey is very low. Unfortunately, does not quite get it. JBA does, though. And now into a 1 versus 1 with Fasher coming in from the bank. But it is going to be Fasher who picks up the 3rd round for Endpoint.
Yeah, Max did pretty well to get 2 kills on short before hitting the deck himself. It did feel like Endpoint made that round a little bit more difficult than it really should have been. But what's important is that they managed to win it regardless. And here we go, round number 5. M4s on the left-hand side, Imi with the AWP, and some tasty Kalashnikovs in the hands of Team Envyus. So, let's see what the teams are going to attempt here. Slow and steady wins a race as far as Envyus are concerned. They're waiting to see whether Endpoint go for a bit of an aggressive push to try and, you know, get a little bit of information. Max has pushed down long a fair bit, but Envyus don't know that just yet. It's Nia Sky who'll be the first man to face him should Max continue pushing down. But I like this from Endpoint. They're pushing down, getting information, getting intel, relaying it to the rest of their teammates that no one's there. And as well, it leaves them in a physical position where they could maybe catch the terrorists off guard.
Yeah, they are going to be just taking the map control. The other A player, Jakey, the rotator, is actually towards the B bomb site and just dropped down from the heavens. Of course, the T's are likely not going to be knowing this, but if only they did know. And I think it's Mighty Max who has been just left here on long. If XMS checks this, this would be a free frag. Apologies, but he doesn't. And Mighty Max, instead of actually looking back towards where the flash came from, he's just gonna be getting behind every single man. Takes a shot maybe a bit too early, but does take one frag and stays alive. All good so far. XMS in the meantime finds a frag, and Mighty Max finds yet another, looking for yet more, as Neo Sky has to cower in fear. 10 seconds left, and he is being shot in the back. XMS now, with a duel versus Jakey, is going to win it. But that is pretty much all he's going to be able to make of this round. And I don't think he died after time this time around, even though it was really, really close. We'll be able to see that on his money, I guess.
XMS, obviously, probably when you look at this Envyus lineup, the main player that stands out for obvious reasons. And I think it's safe to say he's standing out on the scoreboard as well, with the most frags.
But he's only got $700, and he hasn't bought an armor or a pistol, so I guess he did die after time.
Yeah, he must have done. Must have done a good spot, actually. I wasn't looking for it, yeah. But here we go. Endpoint with guns galore, as far as they're concerned, and grenades galore as well. A Molotov on pretty much everyone bar Fasher, which really just emphasizes how much money they've got in the Endpoint bank right now. Going a little bit more passive towards the A-bomb site. Again, they're looking to keep their distance. They'll know that money will be tight on the Envyus side. You don't want to get too close with the pistols, because, well, it was a nice deagle kill from JBA. But, you know, when the deagle can do that much damage from that kind of distance, imagine what it can do up close, right in your face. XMS coming very, very close to getting a kill with just a Glock to really showcase the point I was trying to make. But now, in a 4 versus 1, Anton has it all to do, and he's going to pick up the bomb, but let's be honest, let's be real. He might get 1 or 2 kills, but Endpoint shouldn't be giving this up.
There are 2 players low, though, and he does have some time to work with. If only someone would peek him behind this Molotov, I'm sure that he'd use it as a one-way. But they look to be giving him a plant, it seems. Question is, does Anton want to go searching? Looks to be the case, and that's going to be his demise. Stanley takes him out, and so far it's actually pretty... Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the Excel Prophecy match, where everything just seemed so slow. It's almost like, because they're playing mix, there's not that much stuff going on at once. It seems like it's one guy trying to make a play, then another guy trying to make a play, instead of coordinating your efforts and actually trying to attack a site from, or even multiple sites, just trying to attack the CT defense from multiple places at once.
Well, let's see if this changes now, because Envyus do finally have some ammunition to play with. AWP in the hands of JBA. XMS with an AK. In fact, all of the rest of Team Envyus wielding AK-47s right now. Endpoint, interestingly, opting to put 4 players on that B-bomb site, leaving only Imi by himself watching a long. There's going to be Maxo to rotate round down towards the stairs, where he'll be able to rotate between both A and B pretty fast. Boost coming in as well, Stanley, to keep an eye on the short doors as the terrorists group up outside the B-bomb site, outside short. But the bomb looks like it's rotating towards the stairs, which leaves it in a pretty healthy position to rotate between either of the 2 bomb sites. It's almost like Team Envyus are just playing different cards, and they'll wait and see whether or not they can play their cards right, and once they get an opening frag, look to capitalize on it.
So, JBA trying to open up the B-bomb site isn't going to have much luck. Anton won't have any luck either. Now, they're just Molotov'd out before they even get going into the site. BKL looking to see if he can make any work, but Imi takes down XMS over at the A-bomb site. BKL drops. Not only does he drop, he also drops the bomb, and it leaves Neo Sky in a world of trouble.
Don't leave him hanging, bro.
Escape, yeah.
Oh, God. Thought he was going to leave Max hanging there.
It is looking like Endpoint. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they most certainly do.
They've got it under control.
Of course. Well, I mean, Imi, as far as I'm aware, in-game leader, probably one of the most experienced, you know, predominant players in UK Counter-Strike in really the scene or in the circuit at the moment. And that aside, the again, it makes a nice mix. You've got Max, who's, even though he's pretty young, has been playing CS for a very long time. Then you've got the new, slightly less experienced talents, but the phenomenal aimers like your Jakeys, like your Stanleys. And together, they really do make a phenomenal team. But let's wait and see whether or not they can find just enough chemistry to get this game over the line. Max with a double, Max with a triple, Envyus crumble. And JK will round things off by bidding au revoir to XMS. And there we go, 7-1.
I didn't know you were bilingual.
I'm not. I just happen to know that au revoir is bye in French. Do you remember when I did the introduction in German?
Oh my God.
Germany.
Yeah.
You should have seen the amount of people's eyes that lit up in the crowd. They were just like,
oh my God, he's one of us.
In English for the past hour. And now suddenly he's commentating in German. We might actually understand something.
And then that light that just got completely extinguished as soon as you started talking English again.
Yeah. Google Translate's finest translation. I'm telling you. It was all in the accent. That's why it was so convincing, even to Germans themselves. But there we go. Team Envyus, NATO. It just almost seems like they've only had one gun round, and we're almost approaching the end of this first half. Can't remember the last time they actually had guns.
No, it's been a lot of scrappy mixed buys, quasi-buys, as all of the cool casters call them. We do see a boost here from Envyus, and that's not going to end well. Good Molo from Stanley, who's not afraid to take a fight. How is he hitting that spray through the smoke?
That's probably what Nia Sky is asking himself right now.
Yeah, true. But it also just seems like they're not playing together. Like it doesn't even seem like anybody's calling. It seems like they're just going wherever they like and try to open a site. No, it seems like they're playing this match to just get it over with, kind of, which is a shame.
Yeah, it's not the first time as well that we notice them not really watching their backs. And there we go. I was kind of hoping that they would line up perfectly for him there for a second, but there we go. Stanley getting 2 kills towards the end of that round, and so far, so good if you're a Team Endpoint fan at home. And obviously, as far as Team Endpoint are concerned, really coming into this week before we played any games, Team Endpoint were on 7 points, winning 2 and losing only 1. The game that they lost was last week, of course, up against the Danes of Reason, your friends. So regardless of that loss, they end up making this a 3rd win. It will really leave Endpoint in quite a commanding position going into the rest of the Elite Series.
Yeah, that's obviously really good for them. I mean, we've gotten to a point where, okay, never mind. I was just about to say we've gotten to a point where XMS is AWPing. They did actually do quite a fine job there, but it just doesn't seem like, you know, someone searching a kill on A long, someone searching a kill on B, someone searching a kill. It's
there's no tactical plan. There's no togetherness, given how the team are playing. There's no coordination, and I think it's safe to say that not only do we realise that, but the guys at home realise that as well. It is unfortunate, but this is what happens when, you know, you bring new players into a lineup. Counter-Strike is a difficult game. You need time to gel as a team.
Yeah, that is completely true. But as we say that, though, you don't need any time to gel when JBA just picks up 4 kills from nothing, pretty much. I mean, them running around just trying to take fights, it might not work that well on the T side, but as soon as they go over to the CT side, if they individually can outmatch Endpoint, they have a real go at this, and they do have players who I think should be able to. At least a guy like XMS, I'd see him as having a higher individual skill ceiling and probably a higher, just a higher general level than the Endpoint players.
So Stanley hiding outside the pipe towards the A-bomb site, outside of the tunnel. Jakey's right-hand man, he's going to fall back though. Team Envyus, they've not really sent anyone towards the A-bomb site really, so even if they let this clock run down and try and execute towards B, given that Immy as well is all by himself on A, yeah, I think the rotation will come in, and they're not really giving Endpoint any questions, or asking Endpoint of any questions. Jakey gets the trade-off frag as Max remains hidden on this bomb site, but suddenly XMS and JBA launch into frag mode, leaving Imi all by himself. Endpoint there for me went down far too easily on the bomb site, and now Imi with an AWP should just fall back and just try and keep a hold of this AWP, but I think Endpoint were disappointed with themselves.
Yeah, but I mean, in that round, it's also just a bit unfortunate with Max's timing. It's not something that's down to him making a bad decision, I feel. It's just that we could see it on the X-ray. There's 3 people coming at him, and he's waiting for the right moment to pounce. And as soon as he, flies out from the pillar, it looked like that was the exact moment XMS was thinking, hey, maybe someone would swing around this side of the site, So it was just really unlucky timing. Had he peaked, half a second earlier, I think he would have fairly easily gotten the kill onto XMS, and you never know what could have happened then. Maybe he takes another, and that can really change the round. I mean, there's so many small things in CS that just make such a big difference, and something like just shooting your man, shooting the guy that comes running at you, and having that one-to-one trade even, it can just have such a big impact, even though it might not always seem that way. A good flash coming in. Flasher finding them all out in the open, and they are just being, pulled apart.
They're being mowed down. Fasher, Stanley, Fasher, Jakey with 2 early on in the round as well. And Envyus are unfortunately being torn apart, blown to smithereens by the Endpoint machine. And despite that, Team Envyus can still afford them AK-47s coming out, except near Sky. What do you want to see Envyus do differently? Because it's reaching a point now where they really do need to get actually at least 2 more rounds on the board, then go on to win the pistol the second half, if they are to realistically stand a chance in this game.
Well, I think one of the first things that I would personally do, and it's always a hard decision to make, I guess, but I would not make XMS your entry fragger. It seems like he's having to do a lot of the work by himself. No one's really setting him up, but he's also mostly the entry fragger. And I know on Envyus he is the entry fragger, but when you've got a player that's so much better than everyone else on the team, and everyone knows it, he shouldn't be the first guy in. He should be the guy being the second guy or third guy in, so that he can actually trade his teammates and actually end up in some clutch situations and use the experience and his superior individual skill to actually, make an impact. But I feel if he's going in first with no support, then it's just so hard to make anything stick. And you see him here again, being removed from the server without even having a chance to shoot back. Stanley getting 3 beautiful kills, actually a 4th even. And Fasher and Stanley, they are just so strong on that B-bomb site. It's insane.
They are, but at the same time, I don't think Team Envyus are doing themselves many favours. Walking into Stanley's crosshair, 1 at a time. Didn't really have any flashes flying in towards that bomb site. No really smokes cutting off the choke points. And it's men against boys. We've seen some awesome comebacks and potential comebacks so far today, but I've watched a lot of Counter-Strike in my years, and you talk about your gut feeling, NATO. My gut feeling tells me we're not going to see any of that here, unfortunately.
No. I mean, it's the few rounds that Envyus have won, it hasn't been down to team play either. It's been down to getting the picks early and then having one guy just go off on the round.
Yeah.
We see an early entry here as well, but quickly, it isn't traded out, but they do, they do trade it out, but just not on the player that got the kill. Next XMS, not checking behind himself, also going to be taken out by Imi, and because of him not checking behind himself, JBA gets caught in no man's land with a knife out, and it's just it's pretty uninspiring CS that they're playing right now. It doesn't. No one's really making the plays that can get them back on track, I feel.
Yeah, so Near Sky. Oops, sorry. Near Sky managed to get a kill onto the bomb site. And despite that, you know, this is the thing, this is what you're talking about really, NATO. So, one of the Envyus players, near Sky to be exact, manages to get a kill on the bomb site. He's got the bomb. Anton, I understand he was on the other side of the map, playing it patient, trying to see whether or not he can get a kill there. But as soon as your teammate gets a kill on that other bomb site, you've got to leg it. You've got to rotate whilst Near Sky, you know, gives it a bit of time. Bomb will have been called, or Near Sky needs to fall back and take that bomb with him to meet up with his other player. They need to take the bomb site together. That last round, we didn't see any of that. It was almost like the bomb itself was an irrelevant entity, and it was just a case of like, right, we've already lost this round, boys. Let's just see who can get an exit frag or two.
Yeah. Well, I think the problem is also that in a round like that, no one highlights that Fasher is a B player. So News Guy, it's maybe a bit weird that he... Yeah, let's actually just take onto that thought. Imi is going to be found here by JVA, and the Envyus players are just swarming the site. They do get actually 2 more kills, and now it's a 2 versus 4 situation. Stanley even has an AWP as well. So it's going to be real hard for him to retake, especially if he has to go through this smoke. It is fading, but XMS, in the meantime, takes down Fasher, and it looks like Stanley, he might be getting some consolation kills, but that's just about it. Envyus will be picking up the round. And just to end the thing that I was talking about, it's that no one's saying, I mean, the players that are dead, in my opinion, should be saying that, you know, Fasher is playing B. As soon as News Guy gets the kill, so he doesn't just take the bomb and run over and try to plant, because Fasher's been the monster player every round. It's highly unlikely that when they get 2 random frags on the B side, if he's not dead, it's highly unlikely that he's, you know, playing on the A bomb side or something like that. But it's just, you know, part of the communication that you can give your mates that just elevates your level so much. But I think part of it is probably due to the language barrier, that they're just not calling out these pretty, you know, standard things, at least for this level. And that's a shame.
It is a shame, but still plenty of Counter-Strike to be played. I think Endpoint will be looking to certainly, I mean, it's pretty obvious that they'll be looking to win the pistol round, but if they can win the pistol and then go on to capitalize on the next couple of rounds, then they seriously will be in such a commanding position. Let's see whether or not they can do it. Terrorist side now for Endpoint. Fasher, Imi, all heading together with the bomb, while Stanley and Mighty Max go searching frags elsewhere, just to make sure the CTs don't play too aggressive, see whether or not they can, you know, reduce the number of some of these CTs defended. Max looks close to be doing that. XMS down to 33 points of health, but he does have to be careful because Near Sky has also pushed up. The only downside is that Team Envyus have gathered a lot of information, and now we more than likely will start to see Envyus maybe at least rotate VKL over, given what we've seen so far.
Yeah, you'd hope so. They have a lot of info towards the B bomb site. Of course, they can't just completely vacate the B bomb site because they don't have short water control.
I think they can afford to send 1 person over.
Yeah, most definitely. And that was a very crucial kill coming in from Fasher. Now it looks like Endpoint are going to be speeding off that 1 kill. Jakey finds Anton. Really good flash and really good kill. And everyone else is just locked out of the site now. Neo Sky and XMS, they need to make quick work of these terrorists because they don't have a kit. But I doubt that it's going to happen. Max is going to be finding XMS, and it's all left to Neo Sky. Good tap onto the first. Let's see if he can find more. Looking for Fasher, not going to be finding him though. It's actually Mighty Max that takes him down. But it's also just, you know, well, clear-cut evidence that they are a mix when no one buys a kit on CT. That's usually, you know, then you know it's
That's one of the warning signs.
Yeah, exactly. Because
guys,
if everyone buys armor, then yeah, they haven't really. No one's willing to kind of sacrifice themselves. Either that, or they just haven't talked about it. You know, haven't even had the thought.
So early molly. Unfortunately, I don't think that reached the exact destination that Mighty Max had in mind. Regardless of that, the firepower is with the Brits. 2 AK-47s. There was a UMP as well that was in the hands of Imi, but thanks to Anton, it is now on the ground. Man advantage to Envyus before Fasher evens things up at 4 versus 4. VKL can't stand his ground over towards that A bomb site.
And at 3 versus 2, Envyus might still pull the upset off here. Jake and Mighty Max, the 2 Endpoint players, ready to rumble with AK-47s. Really, the players looking to make a difference. Neosky gets a kill onto Jakey, leaving Mighty Max in a bit of a conundrum versus JBA. Oh! JBA with the headshot, and he will win he'll win round number 17 for Team Envyus. A round he had absolutely no right to win. But a little bit of complacency kicking in for Team Endpoint. And well, Team Envyus live to fight another day.
If I have to be a real... Yeah, I don't even really know what I would call myself, but it's just like, if I have to be super, like going into every single detail.
Yeah, picky.
Yeah. I would say that in Mighty Max's position, what he could have done is just go down the stairs. Not bank, but the other stairs. He had a Molotov for the bomb, and he almost certainly must have known that JVA didn't have a smoke. And now he just got absolutely destroyed.
Anything you can do with your pistols, we can do better. That's what Immy's saying right now. He'd probably be saying that in a slightly more Scouse accent, but that's far from the point. But anyways, here we go. Endpoint creeping up long, looking to deal damage over towards A. Deal damage is exactly what Fasher did to Anton. Fasher gets his second. The Dutchman is on fire. Hat-trick of kills for Fasher. And now Neosky in a 1 versus 2 with it all to do, which he can't do. Immy with his second kill of the round. And Endpoint, despite a small hiccup in the round before this one, redeeming themselves.
I saw Immy on the hall. I said, good luck. He said, I don't need it.
Confidence, mate.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
Counter-Strike is all about confidence. Who was it that said that once?
Probably everyone has said that once in life. I feel like that's like one of the most...
I feel like I'm quoting you out of your autobiography.
No. But I feel like... I mean, it is just so true. Mighty Max looking to find this kill. Takes him a while, but still doesn't actually drop a single point of HP. VKL looking for one, finds Stanley. At this point, if you can save the AK, that's actually probably the best you're going to get from this round. So they are going to try to smoke off short so they can get the AK. And from that, they will get it. And they are going to just try to see if they can run off here. I think Anton will probably stay and try to look for another gun. But a MAC-10 is not something that he can really use, so he has to stick around for yet another. And simultaneously, he's also making sure that VKO only has to worry about the ones that have rotated through the CT spawn, go up to A and go through mid. And it's highly unlikely that they can even have the time to actually make such a long rotation and flank him. So well played by the last 2 players alive. I mean, they did what was needed, but unfortunately, it was not enough.
No, it wasn't, and it's hard to see, really, what is going to be enough for Team Envyus, given the current situation in which they find themselves in. And I think just a quick peek at the right-hand side of the screen, for any avid Counter-Strike fan, tells you a lot about the awkwardness of the situation that Team Envyus currently find themselves in.
Yeah. Definitely does. And the Deagle drops one of the smaller guns, so they're all good for now. Anton trying to make a play, and it's actually working out quite well for him. He does not win the duel, though. That means now that Envyus are in a 3 versus 5 situation. XMS, the guy that we're looking to change the outcome of this game, so far hasn't actually had the impact that you expect of a player of his caliber, but we'll see if that is going to change here in the 20th round of Overpass between Endpoint and Team Envyus. The B execute is going to be coming into full effect. Flashes are in. XMS gets taken down through the smoke, and I don't think there's much left in this round. VKL is going to be taken down. Fasher looks for another, actually finds him. And now 2 players under heaven. He finds just one more. It's an even Steven situation. He is actually going to be finding Stanley as well. And now Neosky gets an AK. He flashes for his mate, a good flash as well. Unfortunately, Jakey is not blinded. VKL got it all to do. 3 kills already, but Emi the Wiser takes him down. And it's match point even, for Endpoint. And Envyus need 5 more rounds if they even want to just come out of this matchup with a single point.
Correct. And it's hard to really see them getting that. Again, thanks to a quick glance to the right-hand side of the screen. But it is what it is. And Counter-Strike sometimes one of them games where you've got to make do with what you've done. So, Jakey leading the charge towards the B bomb site. Max with one, Jake with one of his own, and suddenly Envyus are dropping like flies. The Fat Lady is very, very close to singing here in round number 21. And of course, if Endpoint do end up winning this round, that will be the end for our broadcast of week 4 of the Gfinity Elite Series Season 2. Anton, talking about the number 2, is on 2 HP, will go down. And ladies and gents, Team Endpoint are climbing up that table.
They definitely are a good scout to take. Envyus, though a mix, still very good individual players, and a win that they will definitely take with them, hopefully into the playoffs.
See Jake really enjoyed that one. You got to kind of feel sorry for Team Envyus. At the end of the day, let's be honest, I don't really think they came into this expecting to win. I don't really think they put too much practice towards, you know, making sure that they were prepared. A lot of the time, NATO, as you were pointing out, they did unfortunately look lost. But I think at least let's decide on who our MVP is going to be. Let's give us a quick name.
Yeah, I'm actually...
It's going to be Jakey. So
it would be, yeah, Stanley or something
Stanley.
like that.
Okay, Tom, over to you.
Thank you very much, Kai and I. Well, what can we say over that? Well, the prediction finally didn't go the way of NATO, and that's a bit different, so I'm impressed by that. You boys said Endpoint, and they were dominant, weren't they?
Comfortable is the word that we used.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say, Kai and I, this serves you right for being a sheep in the crowd.
Ooh.
0 right predictions all
impressive.
day. At least we went with our hearts and our brains. You went with your wallet.
Yeah,
like that.
Wow. Harsh scenes there. Kai, he's not even listening to you. He doesn't even need to. You don't have to respond to that, Kai, in any way.
If
I
you
feel
choose
like,
to,
no, wait.
you can.
I feel like you've had a fantastic day, Kai. It was so lovely to have you at the Gfinity Arena.
Apart from your predictions.
I mean, he looks bemused, and that's the point. Listen, Harold, we look at that team, Endpoint, stronger, back to winning ways. They reckon they shouldn't have got that loss last week. But I tell you what, we can welcome down someone from the Endpoint team to come and join us right now to discuss everything that's happened. It's the main man, Emi! Little fist bump for you, sir. Come and take a seat with us.
Right. Fist bump, yeah.
Good to meet you. Very well done.
A very, very happy result for you. You chatted to me after last week's loss, and you said you shouldn't have lost that. You were a little bit annoyed about it, but back to winning ways.
I was really annoyed. Yeah, but we expected to win it. It's not exactly envy, is it? So.
No. But they had Christmas there, up on that side, didn't they? So, you know, they had some, magic with them. But, Imi, you talk about this Endpoint team. You made another change. Jakey comes in. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and what's going on there for you?
YNC had to drop down due to personal reasons. And then, obviously, all our subs were in Madrid. So we had to use Jakey. That's pretty much it. And he filled in well.
Yeah, and as the IGL, how did you feel that he did, as a coach into a playing role this week?
Well, because he's been watching us, he just knew how to fill the role. So it was easy. It's just the same as playing normally.
Did you feel like that you didn't have enough of a challenge today, in some respects, in the nicest way, that you didn't have a team that were cohesive, maybe like you're taking on a method or an Envyus?
Yeah, but they had good players. They've got good individual players. I mean, one of them I don't even think plays CS. So
going forward for Endpoint, Imi, how far can you go? How confident you feel with your roster and your team and your strategy at the moment?
Well, we've got to finish the season with Thomas playing. He's going to come in. And I think we can win it. I said it at the start, we can win it. I still think we can win it. I don't see anything changing.
Okay, so he's a confident man, is Imi. It doesn't muck about SEO. Is there any sort of areas that they could be working on right now from watching that last match and maybe from the week before? Because potentially there wasn't a huge amount.
Week before.
Week before. Let's talk about that one.
That didn't happen.
Well, the week before, as you said, rotations,
Just
like people's
comms
positioning,
broke down,
everything was like. But it happens, though, doesn't it? It's like.
Yeah.
It'll change now with Thomas coming in.
It will
anyway,
change, yeah.
So
Thomas can just drop
he can
30 kills just on his own, so that's what we're hoping for now. I mean, with our full-time replacement, we haven't decided yet, but I think it'll be better CT side. I mean, we've kind of decided, but...
Yeah. Now, a difficult man to please, would that be fair to say?
Me?
Imi, you're a difficult man to make laugh, smile at most times. What would make you happy with this season?
Winning.
Okay.
If you don't win, I'm not happy.
Okay, fair enough. His words himself.
Well, last season was shocking, so, I mean, I want to win.
Yeah. Harold, what have you noticed from this Endpoint team? Are they the real deal, best UK side at the moment?
Absolutely. I mean, there's no two ways about it. They're on a winning streak. They've got the momentum. They're playing well. Now, roster change comes in. Interested to see how that goes. Now, do you think if Thomas plays well, if he fits into the role and he feels happy, that could be a permanent fixture?
We've kind of decided our fifth, but it hasn't been announced yet.
Oh, tell us. Go on.
Fresh scoop.
Tell us.
Fresh scoop. No, I'll hold you. I'm not going to be like him.
I might announce it next week.
Oh,
like
stay tuned.
That's my line. Listen, Imi, thank you very much. Fantastic result. You know, you're feeling sky high right now. A man who is sky high, just for his height, is Neo Sky. What's he saying right now, Lottie?
Well, not a fantastic result, Tom. So probably not the best feeling in the world, but you did say you're feeling optimistic about next week. There's onward, upward games to come. And it's a bit like battle of the coaches out there. I mean, coach to player. What's going on? How was it being a player for the match today?
It's being like strange because actually we're playing as a mixed team, so it's not even like you're playing in some constricted games and something that you have to prepare. It was just like playing some regular games with some not regular players because they're already great. But yeah, we didn't have any pressure. It's just do your best as an individual player, try to make the team advance and yeah, do your best. But a bit sad that we couldn't do better. But since we were not expecting like to be like to have the most impressive games, not too disappointing also.
Okay, not too disappointing. But what were the key things in this that were your downfall to this match? I mean, I felt like me watching it personally, teamwork maybe wasn't as good as it should have been. What were the things that went wrong?
The things that went wrong, like actually, as you said, we had no teamwork at all. Like we are trying to improvise and do some things, but nothing was worked before. While the Endpoint event, if they had like that, they could work around that, even if it's not their best map. And yeah, I mean, like even individually, we could have all done better because you can always do better. But yeah, just more teamwork and be there better individually to grab more rounds, put the key rounds, and yeah, try to grab some win.
Well, I'm loving this positivity. I love an interview with a positive vibe at the end to it. So I'm looking forward to next week. Thank you so much for talking to me. And Tom, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, Lottie. A pleasure working with you this week. Listen, let's have a look at today's results and what they will have done to the standings. As you can see, the scores in front of you. Got progressively lower scoring rounds from match 2. That went to a double overtime, that one, Epsilon versus Reason Gaming. And a first win for Prophecy. If any Excel boys are still in the building, they will not want to listen to that. Team Envy getting 5 points against 16 for Endpoint in terms of rounds. What does that do for the standings? Well, would you believe it? We've got someone working in the building who does the graphics. You can see Reason are at the top of the table. And Epsilon, well, look at that. I mean, that's shocking for the amount of all the similarities of 10 points, 10 points, 10 points, 10 points.
One big thing though, Reason have beaten Method and Endpoint. Oh, was it Envy and Endpoint even? Oh, Epsilon, sorry. Yeah, so they've beaten 2 of the teams that are on 10 points with them. So head to head, it works completely in their favour going ahead.
Yeah.
Like, they still have to play Method and that game will be a bit of a banger.
What I'm loving about Season 2 is the fact that anyone can beat anyone at the moment, and that is making it very, very exciting. If you had to pick an MVP of the day, I'll come to you first, Harold, with this, before we wind up the day.
I definitely think it has to be Testers. That was the closest game we've had all day, and he absolutely outperformed everyone.
40 frags in all of those rounds. What about yourself, SEO? Anyone stand out for you?
I'd probably go between... Obviously, Testers had a really good game, 40 kills across the 40 rounds, but I'd probably give it towards either Crucial or Surreal, really. They both had really strong performances and much-needed win.
And are you going to ask me?
Who do you think?
Zio, definitely for stepping in and making sure it was a winning result for Reason, stepping up to the plate. Gentlemen, out of the performances today, final point of the day, what and which team do you reckon could go all the way after the performance today?
I feel like Reason have been showing it week in, week out. They've kind of slowly improved as well. Compared to week 1, where they struggled to beat Envy, they've now beat Epsilon, they beat Endpoint. It looks like they can go all the way.
And what about yourself, Harold?
I'll be surprised if we didn't see a Reason Endpoint final.
OK, well, that is exciting things. And we did hear from Imi, who is very excited about week 5 and getting back to winning ways. Thank you so much for everything you've done, Harold. Everything, your shirt and all the buttons not done. And SEO, delightful from you. And Kainai and NATO. So listen, so that was week 4. Some moments of magic, some moments of madness. 4 teams emerged victorious after a day of fierce competition. And we're one step closer to knowing who will progress to the playoffs and take the Season 2 title. We'll be back next week for more of the same. And for one thing, I cannot wait. So in summary, that's all, folks.